Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is really testing our patience here. Yeah, we still are just moving sideways generally, while making here lower highs and higher lows. So basically you could say we're moving in a triangle. I already talked about that in the previous video as a possibility. This channel, in my opinion, is still valid, but the price doesn't really respect it anymore. I will still leave it on the chart for now, but you can see how the price is just moving around this trend line. So it's not really being respected anymore. So I'm thinking, do we do something different here? Are we rather in some kind of an Elliott Wave triangle, which would look a little bit like this, where we move up? Don't count here this, or maybe I take the channel out. Don't need the channel anymore. Well, we had one fake out of the triangle here. And yeah, you could say maybe something like this is going on. Yeah, where we also had one fake out to the upside, but you have here, touch point here, two touch points here. So it could just be a triangle. And how would that work from an Elliott Wave point of view? Well, first, maybe before we take a look at that in detail, let's take a look first at what the chart is doing. And my focus is still that we are, that we haven't seen the Bitcoin low yet. Explained in detail in previous videos that I fully acknowledge and actually find it actually quite likely that we will see some short-term upside, but we also must say that since yesterday's, well, I would call it a little or a small pump, Bitcoin has failed to follow through on the short-term bullish potential. So before we really go into the detail here, my focus is still also for the new viewers that we are here in this 5-wave move to the downside, a so-called ending diagonal pattern as per the Elliott waves, 5 waves down, and we have completed already those 4, and the 5th wave is currently ongoing. That is the current view of the market, and because of that, and because Bitcoin has not bottomed out in a reliable way, or at least given us a signal, of course there are signals, we had I think it was the hash ribbon indicator, the pi cycle bottom indicator. There are a few indicators that indicate a Bitcoin bottom already, that the low has occurred, but based on price action and the Elliott waves, we haven't got a signal yet. The Elliott waves are purely telling us that the low could be in at the moment. Yeah, we are in a trend reversal, in a possible trend reversal stage. And unfortunately, due to Bitcoin's messy price action, we need to wait for a signal. Ethereum is a bit different. I mean, of course, you also want to wait for a signal, but Ethereum gives us a much clearer long signal. Bitcoin just doesn't at the moment, right? Maybe short term, but that's it really. So I'm still waiting here for one more dip down. Doesn't need to happen necessarily, but the likelihood is certainly higher in my opinion. But that doesn't mean it has to go down straight away. We can see some short-term upside first, and this is sort of what I'm looking at the moment, but generally, if we just look at this, we assume that wave 4 topped here at around 20,450. Then we say, okay, we are now in the 5th wave to the downside. The wave 5, because this is an ending diagonal, each of these subwaves is counted as a 3-wave structure, ABC. And if we now look at the 5th wave here, there's a few possibilities how this can be counted, and that just leaves quite a few possibilities for the market as well. And just adds to the uncertainty of this chart, because it could very well be, yes, wave 4 topped out. This was a wave A to the downside. We are now in the wave B that could push a little bit higher. So the wave B consists of the yellow ABC pattern there, and the wave C is still unfolding to the upside. That could take us without a problem to here 21k, 21.7k maybe in an extreme case, and then we come down in a wave C. But it is also possible, fully possible, by using the Elliott Wave rules, that this here was the wave A, this was already the wave B, and we are now coming down in the C wave, and that what we've seen here so far was just a 1-2 setup. Wave 1, wave 2, and we're heading down in 3, 4, 5, because the wave C is a 5-wave move. That's possible, but in this scenario we must not move any higher, and I zoom in a little bit. In this scenario, we must not move any higher than the $19,700 level, okay? And then we have one more possibility, which is the triangle pattern here. And we say, yes, we moved down in a wave A, and the wave B is currently unfolding as a triangle wave A, B, C, D, E. The wave B would top here where the triangle finishes, and then we come down. So overall, all of these scenarios are pointing to the downside, but one of them, which is the one which is actually on the chart now, allows for some short-term upside. So that means generally I personally would not go long here. For me personally, yeah. Long-term, that's a different story. You know, long-term accumulation is a different story. But as a trade, I wouldn't really go long here, maybe for a short-term trade, but it would be against the trend, in my opinion. And what I just need to know in the background is that all of these scenarios are still pointing to the downside. My view would change if Bitcoin can move above 21.7K and hold it, maybe for a day or two. Then I think the daily context of this chart has flipped to bullish. And that also has to do with Fibonacci levels. But let's assume we are now, so let's assume if we are in a triangle, you know, you would expect a breakout to the downside from anywhere here, and you would not be allowed to break above the 19,950 level here, because it would invalidate the triangle and we would focus on down, yeah, against this level. However, looking at this B wave to the upside, I would say this was a 1-2 setup, and we could say this here was another 1-2 setup, but we would really need to start moving now. Yeah, it's not high confidence. Yeah, here I would really want to see in which direction do we break out and which level are we taking out. If we break above the previous swing high here at 19,700, I think that would definitely fuel here a rally to the upside and increases the likelihood to also break above 19,950 and then 20,450. So this would be the scenario where we move higher in a wave B and come down then. If we though break out of the triangle to the downside, lose the 19,090 level here and follow through, go below 18,670, yeah, I think then we are already in the wave C down, and we had probably here the triangle pattern or the 1-2 pattern and then follow down. So, you know, generally, I can't really tell you that any more specifically, unfortunately. Bitcoin doesn't allow for that at the moment. We are still in what you would consider a sideways range. That unfortunately leaves a lot of possibilities. I mean, that's easy to understand because the market is in a state of uncertainty. Of course, the Elliott waves don't predict the future. They give price targets and scenarios, but of course it depends on how the market decides which route to follow. And then when you know which route we are following, you have your price targets and you know that you're probably in this scenario and can forecast the next move. At the moment, we are in a state of uncertainty. We need to see in which direction the market is breaking to the upside, breaking out. My view is that there's a good chance it breaks to the upside. Yeah, there is a good chance. We certainly have a short-term long trade setup, but it will get exhausted fairly quickly. That's sort of my view at the moment. I will definitely keep you updated about the latest developments. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.